You are not poor because you lack money. You are poor because you believe you have nothing to give. That sentence kept echoing in Elena's mind as she stood quietly in the dim kitchen between the ticking of the clock and the strong smell of cleaning chemicals. Around her was her kingdom of dirty dishes, unpaid bills waiting on the table, and the TV playing distant economic news. She looked down at her hands, once long and soft fingers, now rough and cracked from chemicals. Elena was trapped in an invisible but heavy label, the dependent one. This was the mistake in her first way of seeing herself. Every time she received the living expenses from her husband, she lowered her head and took the money with both hands, in a shy and guilty way, as if it were charity instead of support. In her mind, her value slowly faded like the stains on the floor. She programmed herself to believe that if she did not create income, she had no voice. The outside world was moving with million-dollar projects, while her world was only about saving money on food. She believed she was a perfect zero, someone standing in the shadow of her family with no skills, no future, and completely invisible to society. The silence inside Elena's heart was clear proof of a painful truth. When you make a mistake in how you see yourself and label yourself as small, reality will slowly crush your potential and stop you from ever going further. In the heavy rain that afternoon, Elena walked into the local library. At first, she only wanted a place to rest her shoulders that were shaking from cold and tiredness. She sat in the last row of a seminar, trying to be as invisible as possible, just like she did in her own home. But in that place, the dependent label she had put on herself for so long began to shake because of a strong voice from the stage. It was Sophia. When the event ended, Elena quickly picked up her grocery bill, the paper she had used to secretly write down the management ideas she had just heard. She planned to slip out like someone stealing knowledge, but Sophia's voice stopped her. The successful woman did not focus on Elena's simple clothes or her rough hands. She looked deeply at the paper in her hand. The way you organize these numbers. This is not grocery shopping. This is the mindset of an excellent cash flow manager, Sophia said. Fear appeared in Elena's eyes. She said in a shaking voice, "No, I am just a housewife. I don't have a career." Sophia's answer was like a direct push against her strong mental wall. Housewife is not a low title. It is an operating position. You are coordinating people, managing supplies, and optimizing the budget for the most important organization in the world, the family. You are not asking for money. You are receiving payment for a system that would fall apart without you. Do not see yourself as a helper. See yourself as a manager. The world only sees the value that you dare to accept. Her words felt like electricity running down Elena's back, forcing her to look again at the bill in her hand. For the first time, she did not see proof of spending, but proof of control. The labels useless, and no skills began to crack. A challenging question appeared in her mind. If she could run a family smoothly with limited resources, why did she believe she had nothing to give to the world outside? The knot of low self-esteem was not tied by society. She had tightened it herself with the mindset of a receiver. At that moment, Elena understood that to change her reality, she had to tear off the old label before writing a new definition for her own life. Elena came home after the rain stopped, but this time she did not walk into the kitchen with her usual acceptance. She stood in front of the old mirror in the bathroom, looked deeply into her eyes, and did a symbolic action. She cleaned the blur on the mirror, tied her hair neatly, and smiled at herself. It was her first confirmation of a new identity. She understood that before the world could recognize her, she had to be the first person to stop looking down on herself. Instead of waiting for her husband to come home to ask for money like before, Elena opened her old laptop. With the mindset of a cash flow manager that Sophia had awakened in her, she no longer wrote small notes on the back of bills. She made a professional financial plan, analyzing the use of family resources like a real business report. When her husband walked in, he was surprised to see Elena standing straight, presenting the family budget in a confident and clear way. She no longer said, "I need money to buy things." She said, "This is our family operating plan for next month, so we can save 15%. The change did not stop there. Elena began to use the same kingdom that once trapped her to create new value. She used her old phone to record her methods of organizing the house and managing spending wisely. Then she shared them on social media with the title Modern Living Space Management. She no longer called herself a housewife. She positioned herself as a lifestyle consultant. Every morning, instead of wearing old pajamas to clean, she chose neat clothes as if she were going to the most important job in the world. This action sent a strong message to her mind: I am not cleaning to survive. I am creating value. Positive feedback from the community began to come, questions asking for advice, shares from women in the same situation. All of these were like bricks building her new belief. Elena realized a clear truth. When she stopped playing the role of the one who asks, the world began to treat her as someone who exchanges value. The reality around her was still the same house and the same tasks, but her inner world had moved to a completely different path. 6 months later, Elena's kitchen was no longer a place that trapped her spirit. It became an inspiring studio, the starting point of a community channel with hundreds of thousands of followers. Her reality completely changed, not because of a miracle from outside, but because she strongly kept the new label she had written for herself. Elena no longer stood in the last row or quietly hid from the rain at the library. She now sat at seminars as a guest speaker, sharing about the mindset of life management. Her transformation was complete when she realized the biggest secret of success: she always had potential, but before she saw it through a very narrow lens. Her first financial problems were solved not by someone giving help, but by consulting contracts and brand partnerships, the result of giving real value. The most emotional moment was when Elena met Sophia again at an event honoring women entrepreneurs. This time, there was no shy bow or hidden hands. Elena walked forward and shook Sophia's hand as an equal partner. She no longer worked to survive but to grow. Her eyes were bright with deep peace because she understood the world will value you exactly the way you see and position yourself. Ask yourself, what label is stopping you from growing? Be brave to tear it off and start giving value today. Because a new reality is waiting for you on the other side of a mindset change. Thank you sincerely for following Elena's journey. I hope this story will be a small motivation for you to confidently write the next chapter of your life.